Hi, my name is Alicia Sorrells, and my husband, Brian Sorrells, was an addict. Maybe 20 years ago, Brian had gone through his addiction and got to the recovery side. Brian and I had been married for a short period of time, and I started noticing some differences in my husband. He had diabetes, so I, in my mind at this time, was thinking his complications were due to this diabetes that he had. I could see his looks were changing, his teeth were starting to fall apart, and just a lot, his demeanor had changed. I didn't realize at the time that he had lost his sobriety. And one evening, a couple of weeks later, I was looking for him to come home, and he was not able to drive in the dark anymore. So I started getting really nervous because it was starting to get dark out, couldn't find him anywhere. Started calling some of his friends, and one of the friends said, "Have you called the jail?" I said, "For what? Why would I call the jail?" I called the jail, and the lady puts me on hold. She said, "Let me go see if he's in holding." And she said, "Yep, we got him." So once we went to the arraignment, the judge read the charges, and he got to possession of methamphetamines. I was shocked, to say the least. I had never been exposed to anyone with a severe addiction of drugs like that, and I didn't know where to turn to other than God. So I'm telling God, I have no idea where to start, how to get him help. We have no money to do this. I don't know how in the world we're going to send him to rehab, where to send him to rehab, or how to do this. Well, I was involved in a networking group that I was fairly new at. One morning, the first morning of the networking after all of this had happened, I went in and we had a visitor that week, and his name was Jeff. Well, Jeff had mentioned that he helped inner city kids with drug addictions and with their attorney fees and legal fees and just getting them the help that they need. I just kept praying, and I think God laid me on Jeff's heart because Jeff actually reached out through a phone call. And I told Jeff at that time the story of my husband and how he had been arrested. And Jeff's immediate response was, "I can help you. I know where to get this help for you." Well, Jeff made it happen. He put a phone call into a gentleman that called me immediately and spoke to my husband and I explained to them at that time that we didn't have health insurance, we didn't have the money for the rehab, and this nice gentleman that called said we have resources for that. It was the best decision that we've ever made, and I actually didn't make it. I let my husband make it because I felt like if I make that choice for him, what good does that make? He's the one that has to want to change. So as my husband started going through this intense outpatient recovery, I started to see a change in him. And through the process, my husband got right with the Lord. He found his way back home. For that, I'm very grateful because my husband ended up losing his life in an accident just a few short months after he was released from the rehab. In fact, the day he was released, he had been asking for the certificate. And the day that he died, the certificate came in the mail. So he was actually able to see his certificate of completion. And he just was so proud of going through the process and getting himself back. And I'm just very grateful for people like Jeff that helped him get to where he was going because they really saved his eternal life. And I truly believe that. So thank you, Emerge, for going and helping these people that nobody else chooses to help. Don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out and get that help from Emerge, just like we did. You won't regret it, and God will be right there beside you the entire way. Thank you again for Emerge and all that you've done for my family.